mention, one thing that NesTea could bring into this game, he knows that Squirtle is relying so heavily on those Immortals. That's why we see Zerg player after Zerg player actually switch over, and that awful, really difficult tech switch of Mulis that come into play.
Yeah, the quick tech into Mutas is something that can always catch Protoss by surprise. The map has loaded, both players have gone and spawned, and down in the bottom left-hand corner of Atlantis Spaceship, we have Incredible Miracles NesTea. He is currently up one game against, he lost the last game against Squirtle. Squirtle here spawning at the 12 o'clock position. He is the yellow Protoss, looking very confident. Give it up for Squirtle.
NesTea, of course, looking for his first big win outside of Korea. He did finish second BlizzCon, 13th and 16th at the MLG Winter Arena. This would be a fantastic trophy for him to gain. And what I love about these international tournaments, HD, is that we always get to see, Code S versus, even Code B. NesTea being a 3 times GSL champion. Squirtle only just this second, or just this, couple months back, getting into Code S for the first time. So it's really a pleasure to see Squirtle get that opportunity to play against the best, to prove that he can compete at that level.
DePaulo, it's funny you mentioned that you like to come out to these international events and see all these Koreans. I think by far, and everyone here in the crowd can agree, this has the most Koreans at any international event ever. What an absolute atmosphere, man.
Yeah, and they are dominating, man. They're doing a lot of damage to Fono, only being the foreigner left, and do see Spawnerpool coming down. Probably Nexus first here again. There's no reason not to. If you're going to do it on Daybreak, you're going to do it on Atlantis Spaceship here. It is, like we said, a very large map.
DePaulo, I will say that if NesTea is going to follow the same build that he did last time, that Mass Roach play at 12 minutes, this, I feel like, is a map that it can be extremely effective on. That third, where the Nexus will be down just to the bottom right of the natural, extremely wide open to attacks, not just from one angle, but also from two, and it's almost impossible to wall that off. So should NesTea go for that big Roach play, Squirtle might find himself hard-pressed to make the same defense that he did on Daybreak.
Yeah, that's such a brilliant fact there, is that this is harder to hold against that style. Daybreak is a lot thinner, just 2 areas to defend, and like you said, there's a big, wide open area where those Roaches can come into if it decided to do that. We do have the expansion coming down for NesTea, who did get blocked on his natural, so just expand sources third base, nothing uncommon there, and we'll be grabbing that natural very, very shortly here. Of course, playing against his Force Fast Expand, sometimes you do see 2 base play from Zerg, but it's so easily scouted if that happens, because, a probe can come in, you're not going to have speedlings, a zealot can come across, a stalker, it doesn't really matter, and it's always going to get picked up upon, and therefore Squirtle can always prepare for anything.
All right, well, NesTea now getting his first queen out, beginning to start to inject out larva. He is going to go for that quick third hatchery. Why not? Atlantis Spaceship is a map where you can expand extremely rapidly, and Zergs will almost always take advantage of that. 2 Zerglings also giving chase to this probe to ward it away from the Zerg side. And right now, what we're really looking to see is Squirtle's opening against the potential Roach build. Is he going to go for the same thing, get those quick Immortals out, start to build up a large number? And of course, on the other side of the map, DePaulo, do you think NesTea will employ that same strategy? I almost certainly feel like he will.
I don't know, man. It's hard to tell. I mean, of course, that's an easy option for him to do the same, whether he wants to take that risk playing against that Immortal play, or whether he, wants to try something different. And of course, that's what we're here to find out. But right now, in this game, like at 5 minutes exactly, the next decision to be made through both plays is on Squirtle's hand. Whether he decides to go for this +1 attack, because we didn't really see it come out last game. He didn't Chronobus into that Forge. Hasn't even begun that +1 attack yet. Obviously waiting to get the 7 minutes called down straight away. Chronobus in the second Zealot out. And of course, these 2 Zealots are for that little pressure, force those Lings out, and of course, more importantly, 2 Scout.
Yeah, and that's a good way to also throw another wrench in the machinery of that huge Roach bust. We'll see if he decides to do it. He is getting a Twilight Council 1 again, so things looking very similar from the last game in terms of the build order from Squirtle.
I think it's a little bit different, though.
Pretty soon as well.
I think it's a little bit different from Squirtle. The Twilight Council came after the Gateways and after +1 armor had finished, after +1 attack, so this is incredibly early, and he's taken a third gas outside the range of the Overlord. On this map, the Overlord can't really get the gas scouts, unlike Daybreak, so awesome decision here. This looks like it's going to be for DTs here. I mean, he doesn't have the gateway count. What's the reason to get Blink Stalkers now? What's the reason to get Blink if, of course, you're not going to be doing, you don't have the gateway count, you can't have the Stalkers. There is the Dark Shrine coming down. No scouting information of the gases. NesTea completely in the dark.
Now, the thing here is NesTea will have his layer coming up very shortly. He should be starting to get the gas pretty soon. He has 2 extractors coming down. He will need some sort of detection to deal with these Dark Templars when they come out. And of course, when you go with this big roach play, which it looks like NesTea is doing, you will have those evolution chambers down. You will have the potential for spore crawlers. So it's really all on NesTea. Will he have the detection in time? And of course, a Dark Shrine, as you know, Diapollo, takes a long time to build.
Yeah, it does. And there is the pylon being planted down in the bottom right. There is an Overlord close, but it's not moving. The other way NesTea could find this, if he went into the main base and the Overlord were the top left right now and saw the late gateways, but there's no detection whatsoever. There's no evolution chamber, and Squirtle could actually just 2-0 this if the evolution chamber doesn't start now. If he doesn't go lair, as soon as he hits 100 gas, he builds 7 roaches. He doesn't have money.
Wow.
This could actually be game-ending here,
He
HD.
decided to make those roaches before.
Oh wait, there's a Ling in the bottom right. Is he going to scout for it though?
He decided to make those
Oh
roaches
no, he goes the other way.
layer.
There's the layer, there's the
Will he
evolution
see
chamber.
it?
3 DTs coming in. The Ling is not there to see this. Oh no, you got NesTea. I'm going to have a look at his vision now, and I really don't believe that he's looking in that area. He's focusing on the Zealots. He does not see this. NesTea is in so much trouble focusing on the Ling and roaches. The DTs are going to make them way in. NesTea is not going to see this, HD.
Oh, wow. And these DTs aren't inside the third right now. He knows now he's got to get an Overseer out. His layer was started so late because he made those 7 roaches. And that, of course, taking the gas up. He still is halfway there to his layer. Hatchery under attack right now. Roach is finding another pylon to the north. And that will be able to stop DTs from warping up there. But he has not yet killed the pylon to the south. And that could be problematic for him. 1 hatchery has gone down already. These DTs doing an absolute
he hasn't built any spore crawlers. He's just waiting for the Overseer, and the layer was so far away. They could actually kill this hatchery if they both focus down now. I cannot believe NesTea is losing to this Squirtle. Oh my god, NesTea does block his main ramp, but there's the Overseer coming. The damage has been done, though. This is incredible.
Well, that Overseer is about to come out, and it will be able to save this natural as the detection has been granted. The Dark Templars can no longer snipe out that hatchery. He's going to try to hide it down in the bottom left and maybe make his way into the main, but with the Overseer already there, that's a moot point. And now the question is, and I think you already feel like the damage has been done, that the Protoss is way ahead. The question is, of course, will NesTea be able to recover?
Well, if you look at the supply, because of the roaches, he actually is ahead in supply, but these DTs are just running around. He has 2 Overseers, not using them the most efficiently, but what the follow-up is from this is +2, a lot of Blink Stalkers, just go for it, basically. You can see he's added on 4 more gateways. He's got the robotics facility down so he can get the Observer just in case of borrow movement, but with correct micro here, this is going to be a very, very solid, strong follow-up here, but he has to hit soon. Because NesTea, of course, does have a good drone. He didn't lose any drones here. Of course, did lose the 3rd hatchery, but has a macro hatch in replacement.
It's very, very difficult to switch your tech as Protoss. He's already on Twilight Council, going into DTs, so going for Blink Stalkers makes a lot of sense here to Apollo. We do have NesTea grabbing the rich gas expansion in the pocket of the map. That's going to give him a significant boost in gas, one of the resources that Zergs always struggle to muster up. And NesTea, to deal with these Blink Stalkers, he's going to need to get some Infestors out. Fungal Growth can lock those Stalkers in place, and then he can swarm with the Zerglings and the Roaches. Thankfully for NesTea as well, he's been able to catch up in tech. He got the speed finally on his Zerglings. He's got the Roach speed at the same time as well, beginning to spread out this creep. And the question now is, will he be able to get enough units out? Will he be able to get an Infestor out? Oh, he's going for Spire.
He's misreading the game.
No, that's
because
terrible.
The pylon on the 3rd base, we can see on the minimap there, the pylon on the 3rd base, or potential 3rd base here of Squirtle, is more of a decoy. He's like, yeah, I'm going to expand there very shortly, but that's not what's happening here. This is a +2 Blink Stalker attack. The Spire, of course, is ready for that follow-up, that tech switch over, in case we see mass Immortals come out, but is he going to find the pylon in the bottom right, though? We do see Roaches moving down. Is the pylon going to be found? No is the answer. NesTea's moving over to start doing damage to that quote-unquote 3rd base, which isn't there. He's about to walk into a very large army.
This is a big problem. Diapollo, NesTea going for the Spire, obviously trying to go for that Muta switch that a lot of Zergs like to employ, but against +3 Blink Stalkers, it's going to be +2 Blink Stalkers, excuse me, it's going to be very difficult for those Mutas to do any sort of damage. Blink Stalkers are so mobile, they can keep up with the Mutalists, they can defend bases very easily. And here comes NesTea. The one redeeming factor for him is Squirtle still has of yet not grabbed the 3rd, so It's still a 2-base Protoss, and Squirtle will need to grab that third fairly soon. NesTea needs to keep that under control.
Let's have a look at the actual unit count. 33 Stalkers versus 30 Roaches. There's even more than the Roaches. The Lings are going to play a big factor here. Of course, they will be the damage dealers in this. But let's see now, the Stalkers are getting across. The one thing NesTea did see on that third base, or location of the third base, that it wasn't actually there. So now he is preparing. We see more Roaches coming in. We do see that +1 flies attack for the Roach. Oh my god, he's going to set up a flank.
And it looks like NesTea here seeing all these Stalkers immediately throwing down an infestation pit, but he's so late now and his Roaches might get caught on the run. Those Stalkers can keep up with the Roaches with their blink ability. It looks like Squirtle opting to go for the throat rather than giving chase. He feels confident in his base and his ability to defend, and there's a Dark Templar hidden in there. If there's no Overseer nearby, which I do not see one, those Roaches and Zerglings might have a hard time getting through, but the DT comes out. A force field comes out as well, and Squirtle not hesitating. He will go for this direct counter.
Is NesTea's decision-making gonna help him here? He did decide to go to that natural, but he has to come back, or is he gonna go? He's undecisive at the moment,
man.
but the third base now is under attack. Maybe goes in with the broodlings that spawn from killing his hatchery.
Here we go. NesTea coming in with his Roaches and his Zerglings to follow. It looks like he has trapped these Stalkers against the wall, but of course, don't forget they can blink out of there. The hatchery, of course, long forgotten. It has fallen down, and look at Squirtle. He's gonna utilize the blink to escape this. He messed up the blink though, and now he cannot get out. These Roaches have an opportunity, a slight window to do as much damage.
How can you blink Micro up against a wall?
Oh
you
my
can't
goodness,
blink Micro against a wall.
Wow, the follow. Squirtle just dropped half of his army away.
Squirtle drops the ball. He got caught in a corner, couldn't blink out, messed the blink, and then, you know, the advantage, of course, with the blink and the +2 is you micro the dead ones back, but you can't micro against a wall. And now NesTea, still on 2 base, just got so many more units, and is pushing him back. Immortal's trying to come out, but it's nowhere near HD.
Yeah, it looks like these Roaches are going to be able to do a big counterattack here. Of course, remember, the Roaches are not nearly as upgraded as the Stalkers. They have +2 weapons, but it matters not. NesTea has so many Roaches. He's just pushing his way down Squirtle's throat. Squirtle is backed up into a wall. He's trying to use the blink micro to escape this menacing force, and NesTea now deciding to fall back, maybe checking for a third. Of course, remember, once again, Squirtle is still only on 2 bases. And then the ambush!
And this is so sick. There is a DT with so many kills in there, but he doesn't know about it. There's no Overseer here, so he's actually taking a lot more damage. The Immortal comes out. Remember, it's +2 versus +1, but there's too many Roaches, and the Immortal goes down. And now the Natural's completely open.
Yeah, well, there's that Dark Templar there doing a good bit of damage. Squirtle, with the reinforcements, I think will be able to make this hold. A second DT also coming into play. And there is an Overseer. There it is. So now that Dark Templar will be spotted, and it has been taken out. NesTea is on the verge of just being able to open this game up. Surprisingly, he still, he did expand back down to the bottom right. He still hasn't really out-expanded his opponent at all, you know?
No, but both of these guys are running out of resources, and NesTea knows his opponent can't expand, so why bother trying to drone up? He just wants to kill him right here, right now. He goes for it. If he picks off the Cybernetics core, goodbye Stalkers, goodbye Sentries. Down it goes, and now you only can make DTs and Zealots. He desperately needs an Overseer. With that army, there is the Overseer. Now with the Roaches, can he really defend with pure Zealots here, HD?
Well, the thing is, if he can make his Stalkers, whatever he's got left right here, to pick off the Overseers, then the DTs can still be used quite effectively. Of course, now he's fighting with the Stalkers at the front. That's not what he needs to do. He needs to back up into his choke point, send the Zealots out. Hopefully, he's remaking his Cybernetics core right now. In the meantime, a Dark Templar hacking and slashing at the third of NesTea. And here comes the DTs once again. NesTea does not bring an Overseer. There it is. The Overseer comes out. And of course, with the Overseer hiding on the high ground, the Stalkers cannot pick it off, and detection is granted.
The cannon goes down. GG calls NesTea. Woo!
Wow.
NesTea.
Back and forth game.
Dude, NesTea just never says never. We saw him on the main stage yesterday against Ganji, losing the spawning pool at the 3-minute mark, but still managing to, go on for 50 minutes in that game. Loses his third base, loses so many units, but capitalizes on his unit production, his macro. NesTea, that's why he's a 3-time GSL champion, even being